Hi guys, so today we will be seeing how to create a simple math application using Visual Basic.net with Visual Studio 2022. So we will be creating a small simple application which will do basic operations on the with the inputs which are provided at the runtime. So let's get started. So guys, let's open Visual Studio 2022. So I'm clicking on create new project. I'm leaving the parameters as it is. I'm clicking Visual Basic and Windows with desktop. So I'm not changing it because we are going to develop a desktop application with on the Windows platform. So the first option is that, and I'm clicking on next. So here I'll give my first simple application app. So I'm just storing it on my E drive. So if you want, you can change it through clicking this button, location button, and then I'm placing the solution and the project on the same directory, so I'm not changing it. So and then I'm clicking on next. I'm selecting the same .NET 6.0. I'm not changing to 3.1 and clicking on create. So now the project will be loaded. So for this math application, we will be placing two text box and two labels along with one submit button. So it will be a straightforward simple math calc application. So I'm just dragging and dropping from the toolbox. So two labels are dragged and dropped from the toolbox. So this toolbox will be visible like this. If it is, then you can click on it and you can just drag and drop, and once you pin it, it will be visible like this and it will be fixed. Similarly on the solution and the properties window. So let's change the name of the label. So for this you have a property called text. So use then when you change the name of the text, it will automatically display it as the same. So I'm just changing the text as number 1. So whatever you change it on the text field property, it will be visible as a display name. Similarly, I'm changing the label 2. So once you click it, you will be finding the properties of the label 2. So I'm just changing the text of label 2 as number 2. So you can give as you wish. It's up to you how you design your form. So I'm adding two more text boxes. So now I've added two text boxes. So I'm not just changing anything because the text field will be blank for text boxes. So I'm leaving it as it is. I'm changing the form's name. So to change the form's name, as usual, we will click on the text property, change it as my simple application. So once you change the text, it will appear here. So you will be able to see that. So let's resize this window with a little bit of area. Will not capture much of area. So I'm just selecting and just dragging it to the center of the form. Now I'll be adding two buttons. I'll go with two buttons instead of one. So one here, then next here. So once you double click also, it will come to the form. If you drag and drop also, it will come to the form. Only thing is you have to align it properly to your specification. So I'm just selecting everything and I have made it a little bit in an aligned manner. Okay. So now the form is built. So now we need to write the code for performing this simple application. So we'll add one more label. Okay, so it's a simple math application. So we will put one label here. We'll put the not changing the this thing. it will be by top left. So I'm just changing the text as operation type, or I'll give the name as operation, not operation type. Now I'm adding a combo box. So combo box is nothing but a drop down control, which wherein you can specify the values before itself instead of user typing it. So I'm giving simple basic things of math, adding, subtracting, and multiply and divide. So I'm adding 4 values to the combo box. So when you at runtime, I'll show you how it will look like. So I'm giving OK. So these items can be added through items property. So in a combo box, you can add it through this. So once you click this tree, you will get the space to enter the values. So enter one by one on each line. So it will display on a drop down category in a drop down type. So I'm just naming the buttons. So I'm naming it as start and this as clear. So now my 2 buttons have been ready and the form designing is also over. So let's code it now. So just double click on the start button. So any form will be coded with a class. So when you double click it on the button, so button is one of the member of the class. So you have to code on the button click. So that's why it has given by default code as button click. So private sub of button click with on the event of button click. Okay, so anything written inside this area will be performed on the click of a button on the form. So let's start with that. So first let's define 2 variables. So I'm defining dim. Dim is nothing but for defining any variable you can use the dim keyword. So I'll define as var1 comma var2 as double. So while typing itself, it will show you the keywords or the nearest keyword match in Visual Studio. That's the major advantage. You don't have to remember all the keywords. So just type few letters and you will get the actual keyword. So I've defined 2 variables and I will define a result variable as well. So I've defined it as R. I'll define it as R capital. So here on the button click, let's first assign the variables with the values which we take. So we'll convert that from the text box. So text box 1 dot text. So this is how you assign a variable when the input is passed on. So when during the runtime, so the text box will contain the value which the user has entered. That will be parsed to variable 1. So once this variable is being transferred, then we can use that var1 as the value of the text box 1. So similarly var2, so I'm just converting into value. That's why I've given the keyword van. So user may give any number or any text even. So that may not be converted. So there itself we will get an error. So later on we'll see how it will be. So I'm just giving text box 2 now. Text box 2. So now I have assigned 2 variables on 2 different variables. 2 text box values into 2 different variables. So now let's start with the begin doing simple math condition. So if, let's start with the if, then so if we don't require a bracket here, so if combo box, so we have defined one combo box, right? So we will be doing combo we will be doing operation based on the combo box. So if combo box 1 dot text equals to add, then we will perform one operation, that is nothing but result equals to var1 plus var2 and if. So if and if is required to close the if statement. So now I'll put a message box dot show. I'll give some string, the some value is, I'll give the result, I'll pass the result to the message box dot toString. So the result variable is being converted here because it's in a double format. So I'm just converting it and I'm just appending it to the message which will be shown by the application. So now we have given the message box for add. Similarly we will do for other operations as well, since we have defined 4 different operations. So I'll just add a combo box 1 dot text equals to subtract. Then I'll just copy this, since we will have to just change one variable, that is nothing but means the operation. Now the difference value is this. Similarly we'll do for multiply. So here we'll put star. So here the multiplied value is the string message. Similarly we will do for divide. So but for divide we'll put one more condition to avoid one error. So you might be guessing it, it's nothing but divide by 0 error. So if variable 2 is not equals to 0, then only perform the operation. So I'm given one more and if. Since I gave one if, it took the last end if as one loop, so it missed out the last end if which was already there, so I added one more end if in the last. Okay, so just be careful on that part whenever you're doing an if inside another if. Okay, so now it will do only when the variable 2 is not equals to 0. That means it will not give a divide by 0 error. Else it will say, we'll give a message box here, cannot divide by 0. Okay, so we have defined all the 4 operations. So let's, just in case, what if the user doesn't select any of the operation? So we need to put one more message box which says, please select a valid operation. So here the code ends. So we have, so just go to the form and we have one more button here. So here we will give one thing, like we'll clear the text boxes if the user wants to give a new value. So to clear it, just assign it with a double equals to. So I missed one, so it should be 1. Here another text box 2 dot text equals to this, and I'll do one more thing. I'll just focus the text box 1 when he clears the text box. So focus, and even I'll clear the combo box since user would have selected some combo box value. So I'll do combo box 1 dot text equals to this. So guys, so I think it is clear now. So what we have done in the coding is, whenever the user gives inputs to number 1 and number 2 and selects any operation, and when he clicks start, it will do the operation based on the combo box value on the two numbers which the user has provided, and this clear button will clear the values of the fields. So let's see in action how it behaves. So it's compiling. So here you can see build succeeded. So this is the form. So yes, we got the application. So just drag it to the middle. Let's minimize this. Okay, so here is your application. So let's test it. So I'm giving some value 10 and I'm giving 20. I'm performing a add operation. So this is what I was saying. The combo box will display in a drop down manner like this. So just click on the operation, any operation which we want to test. Okay, so I'll add, give start. So the sum value is 30. So it has performed its operation. 10 plus 20, 30. So let's do now 30 and then 20. Okay, 10. Then give subtract. What would be the value? Result value should be 20. Okay, so let's clear this. So upon clear, all the fields will be cleared and the focus has been made on number one variable, number one text box. So I'm now giving like 20 into 20 means I'll perform a multiply operation. So the operation ends with 400. So the result is 400. Okay, so let's again clear. I'll do 20 divided by 10. I'll do a divide operation. So cannot divide by 0. This shouldn't be the case. Okay, let me see what it is. It's okay. I'll just close the application. Let's see where it is having an issue. Guys, I'm changing the not equal to symbol with less than greater than value symbol. So that's another way of saying not equal to. Hope this works. Yeah, now it's working. So let's divide. Now I'm giving the variable as 20, 10, and I'm giving a divide operation. So the difference is 2. Okay, we did not change the text which is being printed. So now if I divide by 0, it should give a error message. So this is how the program works. So I think friends, it's clear now how to code the basic application. So we'll change this differences divided value. Okay, so the application is now complete. So this is our simple application using which you can perform the basic arithmetic operations. So guys, if you like the video, just like and share with your friends. So just learn and evolve. Thank you. Good day.